Hello everyone, Elil here. Today I'm going to be making a video about how I ended up with this position in 1454 as a one province Irish miner to start, Offally to be specific. What I have is the actual video from my live stream where I did this, and it was not my first attempt. My first attempt actually happened the day before my live stream, and I ended up allied to England, and that was going okay until England decided to take over half of Ireland by himself relatively quickly, and I'll talk about that in the live stream video. And my next attempt, which is in the live stream, is England decided to declare war on me when I was still trying to consolidate power, so that ended that run. That was 2. And then my next one, England started off hostile. And when England's hostile, you basically have no chance, because when he's hostile to one Irish miner, he's hostile to them all. And he just goes on a tear through Ireland and destroys everything. What really helps in an Irish game is if the surrender of mine happens early and England chooses to go to war. Because when that happens, you get into a position where France will not fill up his diplomatic relations slots right away. If that doesn't happen, he almost always will. And because he does not fill up his relationship slots right away, you can actually improve relations with him and get a royal marriage. Royal marriage doesn't check your army size, so it's a lot easier to get than an alliance with France early. And combine that with the fact that I was able to wheedle through all the alliances here and like Machiavelli and stab people in the back enough to consolidate everything. I haven't finished coring everything yet, but it's all consolidated. France is my ally. He's not at war with anyone else, so he will honor a call if England tries to invade me. And currently England is dealing with 22,000 Lollard heretics on London. So unfortunately, Scotland's ruler is malevolent and decided England was weak during the occupation by France, and decided to declare war, an offensive war against England as Scotland in about 1448, and you can see how that went for him. So I do have that to work back, but other than that, I'm in a pretty good position. I think anyone playing a Luck of the Irish game that doesn't want to do the exile to America would consider this a pretty good position. It wasn't my first attempt, like I said, but the first 3 attempts went pretty quickly because I just restarted when they were obviously not going well. And it's not an insane amount of time I put into getting here. And this is a good place to move on from. Anyway, I'm going to show you the video now. There are some parts I fast forwarded through, specifically after I get done with the introduction in the run where England invaded me. I fast forward through some of the kind of just making claims and attacking people until England attacked me. I do slow down so you can see them declare war on me, because it's funny when I realize that I'm screwed. And basically the same thing for the game where they're hostile. I just fast forward through everything until the point where I realize they're hostile, and then say what I think that means, and then fast forward through the rest of it, because pretty soon they're just invading everyone in Ireland, and I just restarted again. The last run, which is the one that made it, I left completely in. There is one tactic that is useful for Irish miner runs that I didn't actually have to use in that one. That is, I didn't have to proxy war anyone by vassalization. And that's something that I actually usually have to do in my Irish runs, so I think I should mention it because I think it'll help people who are trying to do Luck of the Irish. Proxy wars by vassalization means that instead of declaring war on an ally of the person you want to attack, you declare war on a bordering rival of the person you want to attack. Say someone is allied to England only, or to like England and another major power. Sometimes they even end up in trade cities. And you need to attack them before England vassalizes them. But you don't want to be at war with England. and they have no small allies you can attack. You can actually generally attack a bordering rival of theirs, and eventually they will realize their rival has no troops and that they have a claim on his territory, and they will actually declare war on their rival, which makes sense. But the thing is, you then vassalize their rival in the peace deal, and then you are at war with them as your rival's overlord. And that is something I usually have to use in games like this. I didn't have to use it this time, but I thought I'd bring it up because that's one more tool that can help you. I've even gone so far in some games as to, of course, attack allies of rivals of people who are allied to England or other major powers, and even so much as attacking allies of rivals and co-belligerenting them. You know, you can string it out as much as you want to, but the key is anyone who's allied to England in Ireland, you have to kill them immediately. You have to find a way to do it. You have to find a way to proxy them, because if you don't, England will diplo-vassalize them within a year or so. So, that said, enjoy the live stream, and I'll talk to you later. See ya. Hello everyone, Elio here. Back to try again to give a short explanation video of how I start as Ireland, especially when I'm a landlocked miner like Offally. I did this earlier, and I got the unusual circumstance where, relatively unusual, where England wanted to be my ally. So I allied them and started taking over a lot of Ireland, but then they suddenly decided to go absolutely crazy and basically took over half of Ireland themselves. Unfortunately, they took over Cork, which is where you want to move your capital. Cork has a trading port now, and it also has copper. It's generally where I want to try to develop for Renaissance, which I usually do when I'm Ireland. And also, they had taken over so many of the northern places that I wasn't even able to get a claim on Scotland. So I'm going to try to play again. Getting an alliance with England isn't necessarily bad. I was kind of surprised with the speed at which they turned from being nice to the Irish miners to trying to kill them all. It's only a matter of a couple of years before they took over all of those territories. So I'm going to start as Offally again. I like doing Offally if you're going for an Irish Republic, because they have what is tied for best in-game yearly Republican tradition at plus 0.5. That's the same as Dearth Martian gets. Those are the two highest I know of, at least at the start of the game. It does have the downside that you don't start out in coring distance of the coast, most of the coastal Irish miners, but you can work around that, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Another thing this shows is that, yes, sometimes when you're doing Ireland, you do have to restart after about an hour or so. Usually, if you can make it past that, you'll be doing okay. Now, your biggest threats when you're Ireland are, of course, England and Scotland. England will either start out neutral, hostile, or protective towards you. I think domineering is also a slight outside chance. The most common one is neutral. Next most common one is probably protective. Hostile means they're going to try to blitzkrieg Ireland completely from the start of the game, and that's usually a bad sign. If you're good enough, you can get past that, but I'd usually restart at that point. I have about 1,000 hours in the game, so I'm like intermediate skill level, but even I would have issues if England just starts out on a tear. Now, of course, your dream ally would be France. I usually do start improving relations with France early. The one main way you can get an early alliance with France is if the surrender of mine happens within about the first 6 months and England goes to war, because that will prevent France from filling up his diplomatic relations slots. And you can actually get a royal marriage with him. Make sure if you do get a royal marriage with him, you don't actually ally him until that war is over, because technically, even though it's France stopping on England, it's a defensive war. So you will be dragged in if you do become an ally with him before that war is over. I'm going to start out by building over my force limit by 2. I am going to straight up ask for a contribution from the burghers, get some extra administrative support to help coring, and I'm going to recruit a general, and instead of military points I'm actually going to go for soldiers because that 2,000 manpower is important. Let's see. So, spoiler alert, England invades me this game and then pretty much invades all of Ireland the next game because they're hostile. I just went ahead and fast forwarded to the parts where you can see that so that I can then get onto the third game of this live stream where I actually do good. Gonna need to steal some more piggy banks pretty soon. Should be ready once. Okay, this game's over. That was fun. So, I guess I get to start over. Oh, England's hostile this game. Okay, so this is fun. I'm just going to let this play out, but this is basically England is going to try to kill everyone in Ireland as soon as possible. Which, of course, they did, leading to attempt 3. So, one more time. Third time's a charm, right? Maybe the common events like surrender of mine will actually happen in this game. Okay, so let's see how England's feeling this game. If they're hostile, I'm just going to restart. You've already seen what that's like. Okay, they're neutral. That means they are going to try to diplo-vassalize people. I mean, I could try Denmark instead, but I think it's even... For a royal marriage, for him, it's default like negative 40, 38, and for him it's negative. So he's actually less disinclined to give a royal marriage if you can get him before his relationships fill up. But the only time you get that, though, is if the surrender of mine happens early and England fights. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on the alliances popping up. England hasn't done anything yet. Okay. Interesting. So I'm just going to start... seems like I end up in war with Ormond a lot, so I'm going to start building a spy network here. Set them as a rival. Okay. So that is the surrender of mine. For a second there I thought England just declared war on them. That would have been weird. Okay, so these guys got allied with England right before that. They do not have any other allies. Ulster, Sligo, and Thomond are their rivals. Sligo is allied with Scotland. Ulster is allied with Munster. I cannot put a claim on Munster. I mean, I could hope he gets his ass kicked so much he isn't willing to. Oh, he's allied with Desmond now too. Okay. Well, that'd be a good reason to get through Ormond really quickly. Let me see if France... Okay, France was prevented from getting too many diplomatic relations by that. So not everything is lost. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to check my The diplomatic reputation advisor is available, but will bankrupt me. Hoping these sieges take France a while. France actually isn't taking this over as quickly as he sometimes does, which is probably good. I want that war to kind of drag on a bit. Should go ahead and take my clickies. Contribution, administrative, general, and levies. Okay. Losing money. See if he has any allies yet. He does. Tyrconnell. Tyrconnell is a rival of Sligo, so I might be able to use a vassal proxy to get him away from Scotland. Getting ahead of myself though. First of all, the first part needs to go good. Okay, 26 out of 37. Apparently England actually had some troops down there. Okay, Tyrconnell has no other allies, so it's safe to set them as a co-belligerent. Okay, let's get this started. Also, let's get my guy fabricating on Desmond. Military access. Back to building that spy network. The plan for this run is to try to consolidate Ireland while having England and other large powers get as little as possible. I'm going to try to get France as an early ally because the surrender of Maine happened before France had its diplomatic relations slots filled. So I might actually be able to do that. And then just basically to show how you can start Ireland by being Machiavellian as fuck and not having any Irish allies and stomping all over everyone. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to do 2 sieges at once with my 2 sieges. maintenance turned down, which is always a pleasant idea. Okay, so now I'm fabricating on him because he's allied to him, which will get him away from England. And I'm also sieging down this guy because his rival is him. And I'm hoping to get in a war with him by vassalizing him after he declares war on him. So we'll see if that works. It sounds like an overly complicated plan, but it works more often than you might think. I'm now at -9 for a royal marriage. I do have a diplomatic advisor available, but it's the expensive one. Okay, so Ormond now has other people declaring war on him. A lot's going to depend on how well these sieges work. Sale of titles, sure. Okay, now at -7. Food shortage. I need to keep an eye on the troops because you don't regain troops when you have your maintenance all the way down. So I want to turn it back up now. Spend some of the money I saved. Did I just have a fucking disease outbreak? God damn it. I've been having ridiculously bad luck with disease outbreaks today. Okay, finally I got a wall breach. That's my first wall breach that I remember. Okay, this war is getting close to going fully in France's favor. Hopefully the siege takes a while. He's at -36. That's good. The war won't end before that siege is over. And I'd rather not have to hire the diplomatic advisor if I don't have to. Okay, I'm actually going to turn down my maintenance again. Start attritioning more. It'll prevent me from taking loans. $34. Okay, everyone is now at war with Ormond. I now could get a royal marriage with France if I paid the ungodly amount of money for the advisor. Or at least at the end of the month I could. Okay. So, did this guy ever declare war? No, he did not declare war on Tyrconnell yet. That's unfortunate. At least I don't have to worry about him being diplo-vassalized by Scotland, unlike English allies. Excuse me. So I can probably get him through Thomond later. Oh, Thomond's allied with Brittany. That's unfortunate. Okay, so I don't want to be locked out over here. So England, Scotland, Brittany. If I just straight up declare war on him, will England even come with them now? Gonna wait until this month is over and get the tick. England will actually dishonor if I declare war on him now. so I probably want to do that regardless of what else I do. The screen isn't dark from my end. Is that a video thing, maybe? That doesn't really look better. That looks worse. Don't know. So I would have loved if Sligo had decided to attack him. Okay, I can try this guy with Tyrone instead. Fortunately, if I want to end this war right now, I have to vassalize him anyway, and I want to save my vassals for proxying. They would be willing to take a royal marriage if I got the advisor. This war won't be over until that's done, though, so I have a little bit of time. Okay, so I'm going to have to loot them all later, which means I'm going to be pretty fucking broke. Oh, no CB. Yep. Forgot about that little fact. Oh well. One more. No one has declared war on this guy, which is fucking weird. Everyone decided to declare war on him instead, which is not exactly the way I wanted it to go. Make sure I get this royal marriage before I get aggressive expansion. Okay, not only do I have a royal marriage with France, I'm now locked into one of his relationship slots, which is good. So now, I can't core this guy because I do not have a seashore yet, so I will make him a vassal. Unfortunately, he only has 10 ducats, which is kind of annoying. No, that was vassal, not fleet basing. Jesus Christ. That would have been bad. Okay. So now I have a vassal who doesn't like me. With this guy's, I'm just going to take the province. And 15. Okay. Start the core on that. Check in here, see how bad my economy is. 9 loans at 2.3, that's like 18, so I've barely enough to pay off all my loans. So that works. Come down here. My next thing is to start a war with Desmond to separate Tyrone from England. Okay. Can I make Desmond? Yes, I can. And Tyrone. Get some power projection. And whoever I'm going to be fabricating on, which is probably actually Clan Rickard. Assuming that I get Desmond. So now bring him back. Begin fabricating a claim here. Declare war. I still can get 8 more with France. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay, unfortunately, he's got a pretty good general. This might be annoying. Okay, I managed to basically kill him before the shock phase, so that helps. Pretty much just like before. Checking to see if the Isles has a claim on this, because sometimes they get an event that gives them a claim, and then Scotland is usually hyper aggressive about pressing it, so that can happen. Okay. Go with the risky strategy. Turn down my maintenance. War's probably nearly over. So I'm building spy networks in Ulster and Clan Rickard. I don't really have to improve that guy's opinion of me yet. I do before... Why don't I just get a normal error? I mean, this is ridiculous. So since in the 3 games where I've tried this, this is about my 6th time of being offered a weak error, and I've never gotten a normal one. I want to keep an eye on when this war ends.